Today, I'm making a watercolor clock with Makercrate. Some assembly required. Hello! Happy 2022! I have a bit of a backlog of Makercrates, so something that I'm going to try to do in the new year is get through them. I have chosen the watercolor clock a little bit to just get through it because I have a mental block on watercolor. I don't consider myself super skilled at it, but maybe I'll learn. Maybe this will be my chance. I don't know. Let's start the new year off with a challenge, I guess. Let's see what's in here. Ooh. Here's our little pretty picture. I like that clock. That's a good inspiration. What else? We've got our little guidebook, more inspiration. It's got a little QR code to find the videos of how to do it. Some pretty pictures. Ooh. And, yep, a history of watercolor. And then some more examples of like actual watercolor that artists do. Not like the one I'm about to do. No, it might be great. I'll keep that where I can get to it later. We've got our little clock. It's got a little plasticky thing. Probably we'll do our watercolor and then stick it in there somehow. Don't want to lose that. That's going to be important. Brushes. We've got 2 watercolor brushes and a masking fluid brush. That's clever that we get a separate brush for that. If we're being picky, they could have packaged these a little bit better so they don't get all hairy and scraggly by the time they get to me, but I'll wreck them soon enough. We have some, looks like watercolor paper. Probably we'll do some samples and practice and stuff. And this seems like it has to come out first. Oh heavens, it's heavier than I thought. Okay, great. Masking fluid. Whoa! Masking tape. A battery so that our clock works. And cardboard. Aw, cute. It's a cute little watercolor palette. I like that it opens 2 little trays out so you can mix more. That's not a pretty color. Maybe it'll be pretty once you play with it. Variety of colors. I'm sure we'll be playing with those. And then what's in this big pack here? Oh, mess mat. Whoa. Stencil. So you could probably trace the stencils and then have something, a guide. We've got little, you're not going to be able to see these, maybe if I get them really close. Yeah, nope. They are numbers. It looks like watercolor paper, but a sticker. And so numbers for the clock, little lines, or little dots. So depending on the aesthetic of the clock that you want to make, you can actually use it to tell time rather than like it's one-ish. We have a practice sheet, which is cleverly made of watercolor paper. You can do color samples, practice with your saturation and mixing, masking things, layer things, and then practice different washes. So you can get a lot of practice. And we have 2 different clock faces, which is super handy. They have little lines everywhere that there's supposed to be a number or a dot or whatever so that you can line it up a little bit more easily and you don't have to kind of guess where it's approximately 1/12 of the circle. That's good. So, take some photos of these so that I can actually show them what they look like, because right now it just looks like a white sheet. Yes, cool. And also some photos of these. And then I'll watch the instructions and see what are we doing today. Be back. Okay, I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. There are, I don't remember how many steps, so I'll just tell you what I remember that we're supposed to be doing. First, we will use our little practice sheet and we'll swatch our colors and practice the different washes and stuff. So I will set up an overhead camera with a little time lapse so that you don't have to watch me doing that for a really long time. And then we have our little watercolor papers, and I have more in case I run out and I'm still confused, so that we can practice different techniques, stuff that we really liked. Maybe I have an idea by then of what I want to do for my clock. So far, my favorite idea is the one that I showed you at the beginning. That kind of a thing. I mean, it seems kind of cool because the different colors sort of work. I actually really like those colors. I may be super lame and just copy that whole thing because it's actually something that I enjoy. So I'll probably do one page where I try that and see if I can make mine look nice. If not, we'll go from there. They did also give us 2 different ideas, 2 different scenes that I can practice. See if I can practice the things that we learned. So we'll see how that goes. And then, you know, we actually do our pretty art on the circles and put our clock together. So it should be pretty straightforward. That could be dangerous to think that. You know what, let's just, we'll find out. So the first thing that I will do is put down my messy mat. And then when I'm getting my tripod, I will also get some water and paper towel. So I'll set up my space and then I'll start with my little practice sheet. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work just fine. All right, I'm all set up. I've got 2 waters. One will be clean, one will be dirty for a minute. Brushes and some paper towels. And I think we should be good to get started. Okay, some of these are more effective than others. I like the blending. That one turned out nice. Now I'm going to put down some masking fluid, and then while it dries, I'll put the first layer of the layering ovals. Then we'll see how that goes. I think everything's dry. I don't know. We'll find out. And now we just need to let that dry all the way, and we can peel off our masking fluid and see if it worked. In the meantime, I'll use my damp paper towel to clean up the mess that I made in here. It's a lot slipperier than my plastic one, but it is a lot easier to clean. Okay, I feel like this should be dry because I've left it for a really long time. So the idea is you don't want anything to be too wet, like you don't want the paint to be wet because A, you'll smudge it everywhere, and B, you can also rip the paper. So here goes nothing. So you kind of just roll your finger over it and try to get it. Oh yeah, it's coming off now. And kind of peel it off. Now they said you can put a really skinny layer. I don't think you can put a really skinny layer because I put a really skinny layer and it's not coming off so well. So what I will do is I will use an eraser and let's see how we can get it off without smudging it everywhere, because that's the whole point. It's supposed to be white underneath, not kind of pink. So the masking fluid was a little bit less than impressive for me. I think that what I will try to do, you know, with my little extra pieces here, maybe I'll try one where I put it on a little thicker. I've used masking fluid before and it worked fine, so I'm not really sure if it was too thin or too thick. It wasn't really that thick, so I can only imagine that it was too thin. So I'll do that. I'll do a couple of those and see if I can figure out a better way to do it. The, you know, erasers are kind of good for peeling it off, but this circle is not coming off, so I'm gonna just leave it like that. So okay, step 1 completed. Next, I guess we'll do some fooling around with these guys. Okay, I am all set and ready to go, I think. So I will take my little masking tape and try to tape my paper down so that when the paper gets wet, it doesn't get all bumpy and annoying. The trick is to try to put it on straight and evenly on all the sides. Not always easy to do. So the first scene that I'm going to do is kind of a practice for wet on wet, which, as you may recall, I need because my wet on wet did not turn out very pretty. But so it's sort of a line of pine trees and then a reflection on the water. So I'll try that and see how it goes. It can only go well, right? We'll find out. It's subtle, but that's okay. Subtle is a start. The next one is going to be sort of a portrait mode. There'll be a moon rising over some mountains, so we will be attempting to use the masking fluid again, and some wet on wet again. And let's be honest, I could probably use more work on that. So I'll let this dry a tiny bit more and then peel off the tape and start the next one. While I wait for this masking fluid to dry, I think I'll fool around on this piece of paper with some liney stuff and hopefully find something that I really want to do on my clock. I'll give it a try. And now I'm going to let these dry for a very long time. Like really long, super long. As long as I possibly can even stand it. These two in the front here, I made the masking fluid really thick. This one in the back, I made it super duper thin. I don't have high hopes for that one, but it might become something interesting. Or, you know, it might be amazing. I clearly have no idea. We'll see. I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. Walk away for a long time so that I'm not tempted to start too early. Maybe that was the problem last time, although I really think it was dry. So now we wait. All right. Cross your fingers. It's been hours. We're going to give it a try. So it's coming off, I guess, but it's getting all smeary. It's certainly not a lovely, perfect white underneath. So what's the point? I don't know. I'll keep trying. So when your fingers feel like they cannot possibly stand it anymore, you could try regular masking tape. It kind of gets it off. I mean, it's better than nothing. Not perfect, but it's getting some off. It's definitely better than just rubbing the skin off your fingers. It's definitely better if you put your masking fluid on nice and thick, and if you do not care that it's perfectly white underneath, because mine's not. Definitely not. Maybe if you put it on ultra super duper thick, you can't let it dry longer, because that was long. So I guess the next thing we'll find out is, will I be able to paint over the mountains that I masked? So I can't say that I love any of them. I guess this is still my favorite. I might try to make more of a coral and pink kind of design, unless I come up with something else soon. If it's far enough away, see, like right now, you can't tell that it's not perfectly clean and wonderful. I can tell, but you can't tell because you're far enough away. So maybe that's just fine. We'll just relax our control freakiness a little bit, and we'll try with something like that. From close, I think that the white lines are a little bit thick, so I'll try to make them a little thinner, and then I think we'll go over it with some corals and pinks and something like that. Maybe the charm of this is that it looks like water and it's blue and green. We'll find out. We do have 2 of the clock faces, so I can change my mind, although once I rub all of the masking fluid off, I might just be done anyway. But that's my plan, unless I change my mind, like now. I am not gonna lie, I was not feeling 100% sure about this, but I think that it came out really cool. I did maybe get blisters on my fingers. I switched to my left hand a little bit too late, but maybe it was worth it. I don't know. So the only other thing that we have left to do is cut this guy out, put it into the clock frame, and make a clock. So I think that should be pretty straightforward. I know I've said that before. I've decided not to use any numbers or dots or bars or anything on the outside as, you know, time telling hints. I kind of like it plain just the way it is, so I'm just going to cut it out and not worry about that. This is not easy for people with small hands or just me. Nothing is attached to this little paper thing, so I'm supposed to move it to line it up with the little thingies, but I can't because it doesn't move. I'm gonna need tools. And now we get to put on these little guys. Very carefully, because apparently they bend. Cool. We put them on the clock, hour hand, then minute hand, then second hand on the top. Did I put them on properly? I don't know. There were only so many options. I kind of had to jam them on. Did I jam them on enough? I don't know. But I guess we'll find out when we put in the battery. Which somehow we have to do turning this upside down and not smashing anything. Well, that's not good. Okay, looks like little Mr. Minute Hand needs to shove down a little more because second hand can't go. Of a clock! Check me out, I did it! Exciting! I have to set it. Sorry. Their hands are really not straight. Like, really not straight. They say, oh, be careful. You don't want to bend them. I think they've already been bent. They came bent. Is it going to pass? No. No. It's stuck now. Okay. Troubleshooting. I'm glad that I didn't put numbers anywhere because I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't point exactly to it. But I have bent everything so that it all has clearance and can actually tell the time. I don't know if it will tell the time very well, or if it will be slow or fast, or just not really point to the right spot, but it's a clock, and it is all mine. So, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up, make some comments down there, tell me what you think about it. Is that the pattern that you would have chosen? It's not the pattern that I would have chosen, but it is the pattern that I chose. Have you made this clock? Do you still have blisters? Will they go away? If you did enjoy this and you're not subscribed yet, you can subscribe right underneath the video. Click the all notifications bell so you don't miss anything in the future. I do still have a bit of a cache of these guys still stuck from I didn't have time to do them when I got them. So I've been saving them. I've been saving them for the winter so that they can entertain me and you. If you like Makercrate videos, I have a playlist. Check them out. So until the next video, be awesome, and I'll see you then. Bye!